Sata Srimati His Divine Grace Abhaya Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtottara Sata Srimati His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Ji Ki Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter number 7, Text 16 and 17. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Maitreya Vacha. Kshamapayevam samidvamsam. Brahmana chanumantrita karma santanayamasa sapadhyayatvigabhidhya. Maitreya Uvacha. Kshamapayevam midvamsam Brahmana chanumantrita karma santanayamasa. Where is my bag? Sopadhyayat vighat abdhibhihi. Maitreya Uvacha. Kshamapayevam samidvamsam Brahmana chanumantrita karma santanayamasa sopadhyayat adhibihi. Krishna, can somebody repeat it? Maitreya Uvacha. Kshamapayevam vidvamsam Brahmana chanumantritaha karma santanayamasa Sobhadhyabhidhi. Maitreya Uvacha. Kshamapayevam samidvamsam ब्राह्मणा चानुमन्त्रितः कर्म संतानयामास सोपाध्यायातिभिः। मैत्रेय उवाच क्षमापयेवं समिद्वंसम् ब्राह्मणा चानुमन्त्रितः कर्म संतानयामास सोपाध्यायात्विगादिभिः। मैत्रेय उवाच क्षमापयेवमिद्वंसम् ब्राह्मणा चानुमन्त्रितः कर्म संतानयामास सोपाध्यायात्विगादिभिः। मैत्रेय उवाच कर्मापयैवं समिद्वंसम् ब्रह्मणा चानुमन्त्रितः कर्म संतानयामास सोपाध्यायात्विगादिभिः। Maitreya, the sage Maitreya, Uvacha, said, Kshama, forgiveness, Apya, receiving, Evam, does, Saha, King Daksha, Midvamsam, unto Lord Shiva, Brahmana, along with Lord Brahma, Cha, also, Anumantrita, being permitted, Karma, the sacrifice, Santanayamasa, begun again, Sa, along with Upadhyaya, learned sages, Ritvik, the priests, Adibhi, and others. Translation: the great sage Maitreya said, thus being pardoned by Lord Shiva, King Daksha, with the permission of Lord Brahma, again began the performance of the yajna, along with the great learned sages, the priests, and others. We are reading text 17 because this verse does not have Bhaktivedanta purports. Text 17, translation. Therefore, in order to resume the activities of sacrifice, the Brahmanas first arranged to purify the sacrificial arena of the contamination caused by the touch of Veerabhadra and the other ghostly followers of Lord Shiva. Then they arranged to offer into the fire the oblations known as Purodasa. Purport by His Divine Grace Abhaya Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Lord Shiva's followers and devotees, headed by Veerabhadra, are known as Veeras. They are ghostly demons. Not only did they pollute the entire sacrificial arena by their very presence, but they disturbed the whole situation by passing stool and urine. Therefore, the infection they had created was to be first purified by the method of offering Purodasa oblations. Just like we sanitize the area of the infections now. So here Srila Prabhupada is saying the infection they had created has to be purified. That means sanitized. A Vishnu yajna or an offering to Lord Vishnu cannot be performed uncleanly. To offer anything in an unclean state is called a seva aparada. The worship of the Vishnu deity in the temple is also Vishnu yajna. In all the Vishnu temples, therefore, the priest who takes care of the Archana Vidhi must be very clean. Everything should be always kept neat and clean. The foodstuffs should be prepared in a neat and clean manner. All these regulative principles are described in the Nectar of Devotion. There are 32 kinds of offenses in discharging Archana service. It is required, therefore, that one be extremely careful not to be unclean. Generally, whenever any ritualistic ceremony is begun, the holy name of Vishnu is first chanted in order to purify the situation. Whether one is pure or impure condition, internally or externally, if one chants or even remembers the holy names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, one immediately becomes purified. The Yajna arena was discreted by the presence of Lord Shiva's followers headed by Veerabhadra, and therefore the entire arena had to be sanctified. Although Lord Shiva was present and he is all auspicious, it was still necessary to sanctify the place because his followers had broken into the arena and committed so many obnoxious acts that sanctification was possible only by chanting the name of Vishnu. Trikapala, which can sanctify 3 worlds. In other words, it is admitted herein that the followers of Lord Shiva are generally unclean. They are not even very hygienic. They do not take baths regularly. They wear long hair and they smoke ganja. Persons of such irregular habits are counted amongst the ghosts. Since they were present in the sacrificial arena, the atmosphere became polluted and it had to be sanctified by Trikapala oblations, which indicated the invocation of Vishnu's favor. Om Ajnanathimirantasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurum Nilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Nitamscha Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavanishwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Yevacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। Canto 4, chapter number 7, text number 16. The translation of today's verse. The great sage Maitreya said, "Thus being pardoned by Lord Shiva, King Daksha, with the permission of Lord Brahma, again began the performance of yajna along with great learned sages, the priests and others." Hare Krishna. I am very grateful to be in the association of such wonderful devotees and such beautiful deities. And Prabhuji was just telling me how merciful these deities are, and they have been personally carried by Srila Prabhupada here. So extremely beautiful deities, and I seek blessings of all the devotees that I could speak something useful on today's verse in line with the Acharyas. So here in the Bhaktivedanta Purport today, Srila Prabhupada is mostly mentioning about the cleanliness aspect of deity worship. He says if something is not clean, it becomes a seva aparadh. So everything in deity worship has to be very clean, so that it becomes a nice offering to Krishna, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Ji. So can devotees say what are the things we have to be careful about while serving the deities? Any aspects which you personally take care while going to deity worship or while serving the deities? Yes, Prabhu? Okay, turning your back towards the deities, okay? Personal hygiene and cleanliness, like taking a bath before going to the deities, yes. And right consciousness, yeah, internal cleanliness, having purity of mind, yes. Very important, punctuality. Srila Prabhupada said, deity worship, there are two main rules. One thing is cleanliness and second thing is punctuality. If we can do these two services to the Lord, He'll be very pleased. Cleanliness and punctuality. So these two are very much emphasized in deity worship. It should be every offering which happens to the lordships have to be on time, and they should be very clean and neat. Yes, thank you. Anybody else would like to say anything? Fresh set of clothes. Yes, very important to have fresh set of clothes, always washed, clean, neat, and especially when we go to the deities, we should take care that if we have rested, we have to bath again, wear new clothes, fresh clothes, and then go to the deities or any services related to the deities. Yes. Yes, Mataji. Yeah, not touching others. It means, like giving free hugs to everybody on the way to the deity worship. So that should be after you serve the deities, you can distribute the mercy to the devotees, but not while going into the altar. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Anybody else from you? Chanting the holy names of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada is telling in the purport, as soon as one chants the holy names of the Lord, everything is cleansed. Like we were coming in the car and we were doing Gayatri, and we were chanting this mantra, Om Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarva Avasthan Gatopi Va Yatsmaret Pundari Kaksham Sabahya Abhyantara Suchi. And then Prabhuji was telling, this is a nice way, because we are in the office sometimes, we cannot do Achaman just before doing our Gayatri or before doing our chanting. So I was mentioning to him, Om Apavitra Pavitro Va and Naham Vipro Nachanarapatir Napi Vaishyo Sudra. These are called Bhuta Shuddhi mantras. So these mantras, various mantras to be chanted are very, very important. Yes, please. Then pure bhoga means, okay, okay. Here, Srila Prabhupada in the purport is saying the offerings which are made to the Lord should be very neatly made and offered. What are the things which we take care while cooking for the Lord? Clean kitchen, then you put a cap to the head so that our hair does not enter the bhoga offering. It is said that if a hair is found in the food or prasad we eat, it is considered to be equal to waste of a human being. So as soon as you see hair in the food, it gets contaminated. So you put a cap or you tie a cloth while cooking for the deities. And in the same consciousness, if you see in South Indian temples, the pujari, when he cooks the bhoga, they have a 7 yards cloth which they cover their head, their mouth and their nose, and on that they put the offering, and they won't allow anybody to come near the pujari who is carrying the bhoga. So there will be a drum which is being played, and they carry fire just in front of the bhoga, that everybody is aware that bhoga is coming. So like that they carry the bhoga and offer. So that means it is generally, we have to be very careful while making the bhoga and while offering it to the deities. Yes. And also cleaning the plates very nicely. Like we do the services in backup, it is cleaned very nicely. In one temple, Srila Prabhupada, he was taking darshan for a very long time of the deities, and then he came back and he told the temple president that the deities' plates are not being washed properly. And the temple president comes to the person who is washing the plates and he tells him that Srila Prabhupada told the deities' plates are not washed properly. The person who was washing the plates was thinking that I know the plates were not washed properly, and the pujari in a hurry, he just offered it to the deities. Who told Srila Prabhupada? Because Srila Prabhupada was taking for a long time that, and this devotee later says that Krishna complained that the plates which they are offering are not clean. Tell them that they should clean it properly. And Srila Prabhupada comes and tells temple president, and temple president goes and tells the devotees. So cleaning is very important. Krishna is very concerned about the cleanliness. Yeah, in Rajapur temple, we heard a story from Janinivas Prabhu. The pujari who would make offerings, he would touch the offerings with this finger, and Jagannath got so upset, he punched him on his face once in the dreams. He said, "Why are you touching with this finger? Don't contaminate my offerings. If you want to do it properly." So Krishna is also teaching us cleanliness standards. Better we learn from Bhagavatam. If Krishna teaches, then it will be very intense for us. Any other things you would like to say regarding the deity worship standards? Yes, Mataji. Thinking about Krishna while cooking. Amazing. We have to think about Krishna and how this offering can be made perfectly as an offering to Krishna. Yeah? Always having that consciousness of not enjoying but serving. In one temple, devotees were serving prasad. So while they started serving prasad, they were very concerned, especially the sweets, they were giving very limitedly. The devotee goes and asks, "Arey, why are you giving like this? I told one big spoon. We are concerned, there are so many people, if we'll get it or not after we serve." So that Prabhuji said, "You make plates for yourself first and then peacefully serve." So they made some plates for themselves, kept here, and they started serving very happily now. We have prasad, so we will serve. Do you think it is right consciousness? No. We just have to give service. We do. Like Mahaprabhu, when his guru Ishwarapuri had come to him, he had made prasad for honoring. And when Ishwarapuri comes, Mahaprabhu just serves prasad to Ishwarapuri. He says, "Please take prasad." And you know what happens? Mother Lakshmi was cooking for Mahaprabhu in the kitchen because he offered this service to the devotee. Because he offered this service to the Lord. So nothing is at loss when we are in the mood of giving. But all law starts when we are in a mood of enjoying. So anything connected to the deities, we have to be having that pure consciousness in the mind. This is an offering to Krishna. I am not the enjoyer, but Krishna is the enjoyer. In every aspect of our life. Yes, Mataji, thank you for the nice point. Anybody else would like to say anything regarding the cleanliness? One should not smell the food. What if somebody is cooking very nice boga and the smell is entering the temple hall and you are able to smell the puris and the sabjis? What will you do then? One devotee was telling that whenever there is boga smell, he tries to put the smell back into the air. What do you think? Is that possible? Doing reverse pranayam? So, whenever we smell, we should just think, oh Krishna, this is your offering. Please forgive me. And then we should quickly go away from there. Yeah? Yes, not smelling the offerings. One devotee got very much inspired by Shabari. And I went, I saw in her deity plate that everything was little bit, cut. I asked her, what happened? What are you doing? She says, I heard Shabari's story yesterday and I'm tasting every fruit and offering it to the Lord. What do you think? Is it a good idea? Not for us, definitely. Yeah? Yes. For a sadhaka, it's not recommended, but a Mahabhagavata Vaishnava does. We have nothing to say. Yeah? Yes. Any other points if somebody remembers? Consciousness and less prajalpa. Yeah, while serving the deities. Like somebody is making garlands for the deities, and if you are talking, what happened to that devotee yesterday? Then Krishna will say, oh, I do not want this garland at all. Yeah? While doing any service, like cooking, or like when we decorate the deities also, there is Srila Prabhupada's lecture going on. Because we have to absorb our mind in service of Krishna. Absorption is most important. When we are absorbed, then our mind gets cleansed. All the purification comes when we are absorbed in service of Krishna. So that is very important. And Srila Prabhupada is mentioning some other things here. In the purport at the end, if you see, so in other words, it is admitted here that the followers of Lord Shiva are generally unclean. They are not even hygienic. They do not take baths regularly. Srila Prabhupada is saying regular bath. When I was at my university, my roommate would just sleep next to me on the other bed. His timetable was Sunday to Sunday bathing. Sunday evening 6:30 is the muhurta for taking bath. If he goes out on that Sunday, then the next Sunday he will take bath. So you know what I did? I took one marker and I divided my room into two. And I told him that you should not step this side and I will not come that side. And I had my small set of deities in the hostel, so I would keep them here and I would tell Krishna, please tolerate this personality for some time. It's just 1 year. And then I would keep cleaning this part of the room, and this part of the room, was so unclean. Mountains of clothes all the time lying, and such bad smell and everything. It was a very big austerity. Yeah, what to do? We just have to close our nose. So in my childhood, we would read a very great devotee of Krishna. She is Anda, Goda Devi. She wrote 30 songs glorifying Krishna. And in that, she would say always, Neyunnom, Palunnom, Natkale, Neeradi. She would say, take bath every day, early in the morning bath. I was wondering, is this something to say to the practitioners? You should take bath, you should take bath. And then when I went to the university, I understood why Andal is saying so many times you should take bath, you should take. So one of the symptoms of Kali Yuga, it is said in Bhagavatam that just by taking bath, one feels that he is qualified to do anything. Otherwise, deodorants do all the work, if not bathing. Yeah? And then here, wearing long hair. Srila Prabhupada is writing in the purport. So some devotee, when he came to India, he was growing long beard. So the devotees asked, "Arey, why are you growing long beard?" This devotee showed the photo of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur with long beard. So then they showed it to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, he is showing Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's photo and saying that growing beard is okay. So Srila Prabhupada said, tell him to eat khichdi off the floor first. Because that time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was observing Chaturmasya Diksha. And he was eating khichdi off the floor. And you can see that still in Mayapur Dham, where his bhajan kutir is there. So we want to adopt some aspects of what we like and reject the others, which is not recommended. Srila Prabhupada said once, if somebody is glowing hair long, he is not my disciple. Like that he had to announce. So then devotees cut their hairs. So here it is said, especially when you go to the worship of deities, we have to be clean in these aspects. And then smoking ganja, need not say, is definitely any of the regulative principles which we break is considered to be unclean. So we have to be very careful when it comes to the service of deities and service of devotees also. Because Krishna says, Mad Bhakta Puja Bhyatika. Like how we serve prasadam to the devotees, how lovingly we reciprocate. Smiling at a devotee. If somebody does not smile at a devotee is also an offense. When you see somebody, you have to give a pleasant smile and you should be welcoming. And if we smile at devotees, if we are welcoming to the devotees, then Krishna welcomes us in spiritual world. So that is the aspect of cleanliness and service. Should I tell you one story from the life of a great alvar in South India? So, in a place called Sri Rangam. How many of you have been to Sri Rangam? Oh, amazing. So, in Sri Rangam, there appeared a very great alvar. His name is Tiruppan Alvar. What is his name? Tiruppan Alvar. So, he was a very great devotee of Krishna. He would constantly keep singing different songs on Krishna, and he would always be in trance, meditating on Krishna. And there was one pujari who was extremely strict with the standards. Like, nobody touching him till the time he picks up the water from the river Kaveri and goes to the service of Ranganatha. His name is Loka Saranga Muni. What is his name? Sloka Saranga Muni. So he was picking up the water from Kaveri and going to worship Ranganatha, and he sees Tiruppan Alvar in trance. He's just singing Lord's name and walking. So Loka Saranga Muni says, "Oi, move from my way. I have to go to the service of Ranganatha." Tiruppan Alvar is externally not very conscious. He's just internally relishing the association with the Lord. You know what Loka Saranga Muni does? He picks up a stone and hits Tiruppan Alvar. And it hits his head and he starts bleeding. And when he starts bleeding, Loka Saranga Muni, when he hits Tiruppan Alvar comes to external consciousness and he begs forgiveness. I am very sorry, such a contaminated jiva coming before the servant of the Lord. Please forgive me. And he just moves away. And then Tiruppan Alvar goes to the temple and he's trying to open the doors and doors do not open. He's saying, "Ranganath, please open the doors. It is time for your service." Ranganath says, "No, I am not going to open the doors." He says, "Why?" "You have offended my devotee." So he says, what did I do? I am just taking care of the standards of deity worship. He says, "Whatever you have done, you have hurt a dear devotee of mine. Go and ask forgiveness and bring him to the temple. Only then I will open the doors." he says, Lokasaranga Muni says, Arey, he is an untouchable. You cannot get him inside the temple. His feet cannot touch the temple ground. Oh, Ranganath says his feet should not touch. Okay, bring him on your shoulders so that his feet does not touch the temple. Lokasaranga Muni is in shock. What is Ranganath saying? Till the time you go and bring him, no opening the doors. Lokasaranga Muni goes and he asks forgiveness to this Vaishnava. He says, no, I have offended you. You have not offended me. He says, Ranganath is calling you. You have to come. He says, no, I cannot touch the temple ground. Okay, no problem. You have to sit on my shoulders. And he makes him sit on his shoulders and takes him to the Lord, and then Lord opens the doors and takes him inside. So this story tells, in practice or in taking care of the standards, we should not offend some devotees or, hurt them. Like if somebody is coming, hey, like this, if somebody says, then if the devotee is hurt, then the whole purpose is gone. Yeah. So we have to be sensitive. First, be sensitive towards the devotees while following the standards. That is one very important lesson we learn, that we have to be extremely careful in our service to the Lord, that we not hurt other devotees. Standards are very important, but to an extent that it pleases devotees as a service to the Lord and as a service to the devotees. One more contrary story to this is, in a place there was a devotee. His guru told him that you should always chant the names of Krishna. So he would always keep chanting Narayana, Govinda, Mukunda, Madhava, Hare. And he had one small box in which he would keep the Mahaprasad, pan. How many of you know pan? Do you offer it to Gopinath here? Yeah. Pan. What do you call pan in Hindi? Betel nut is just betel nut. Betel nut leaf you make an offering to the deities. So he would keep the Mahaprasad pan in one, in Telugu it is called Tambulam. And in the same box, because he was very poor, he had one small shaligram. So he had some betel nuts, some pan and shaligram. He would always go into ecstasy while singing the names of Lord, and by mistake sometimes he would put the shaligram in the mouth. And then he would see, oh, this is not betel nut, this is shaligram, and he would take it out, and then he would wash it and put it in the box again. And then again he would start singing, and again he would put pan, some betel nut, then again shaligram. Then he would remove the shaligram and put it in the box. And then he would ask for it. One person, a very rich person, a very nice standard following Brahmana, saw that this person is doing like this. He goes to this person and he says, sir, what is this worship? You are putting shaligram in your mouth. I have a golden altar in my house, and I every day bathe my deities with Panchamritam. So please give your shaligram to me. I will take care of the shaligram very nicely. So this person thought, better I surrender the shaligram, because he has to undergo so many austerities. Every time he has to come in my mouth. Better I give to this person. So he gives the shaligram to this person, and he goes and he puts him on a golden altar, and every day he is doing lot of abhishekam, archana and garlands and services and everything. So one day at the night, this devotee was just singing the names of the Lord, and somebody knocks on his door. Late night, 12 a.m. in the night, and this person comes and tells, please take your shaligram back. He is just mad like you. He does not understand why he is saying like this. Every day when I am doing such opulent archana to him, this shaligram is telling, take me back to that person. I just want to stay in his pan dabba. So I am telling him, what will you get by staying there? He is putting you in the mouth. He says, that is not a problem. He is just singing the names of Lord, and he is in ecstasy, and he does not know what he is doing. I would relish, I feel his other amrita more opulent than the panchamrita which you are offering. Please send me back. He says, you are mad and your Lord is also mad. Just keep this, I am going. And then when he holds him in the hands, the Lord says that I really relish the simple devotion which you have. So whatever standard you follow, please keep me with you. So we do not know in what bhava and devotee is worshipping the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada says that all the standards which we learn are for applying to ourselves. It's not to judge others. So once we were hearing a lecture, and that the speaker was saying that we may fast on Ekadashis, we may do Nirjala Ekadashis, but if we think, oh, this devotee is eating prasad, oh, this devotee is eating sabudana vadas. So one time I went to a house program with a brahmachari, and the residents of the house, they had made a very nice fruit platter, and they offered us. So this brahmachari said, no, today is Ekadashi. So then the householders, they said, wow, very amazing, you fast. And then in the car, the brahmachari was saying, see, Prabhu, they were giving us fruit platter, but in temple they make nice sabudana vadas. If I eat here, I cannot eat those vadas. Like that he was telling. So the speaker was saying, if you are fasting on Ekadashi, if you are thinking, I am doing Nirjala, but this person is eating, you may be fasting from grains, but you are feasting on your ego. We may be externally fasting, but we are feasting on our egos. Which is better? Eating grains and becoming humble, or fasting from grains and feasting on ego? So at the end, all our practice should lead us to genuine humility. Like when devotees, this is for the first time I have seen somebody reciting the meaning of Sikshastakam before the deities. You were very nice. I was just thinking, when all of you were doing it, I was thinking I should also do it to our deities there. And with such bhav, all our brahmacharis and devotees were reciting, I felt so nourished just by looking at you. So I would like to learn this from all of you and try to inculcate in my own lives also, reciting the meaning of Sikshastakam with such beautiful bhav. Srila Prabhupada was at one place where the temple was like not very clean. So one devotee goes and asks Srila Prabhupada, I have to ask one thing to you. Srila Prabhupada says, just ask me later. And then later this devotee goes and tells Srila Prabhupada, the temple which we went, it was so unclean, but you did not say anything. Srila Prabhupada said, the temple was unclean, but the bhav of the pujari who was doing the seva was very clean. So sometimes we may not externally understand what's happening, but it is very safe for a devotee not to judge and make aparadas. So we have to be careful in this aspect. Whatever standards we learn, whatever training we get in service of deities, in service of devotees, is for us. Apply in fullest to us, strict with ourselves and lenient with others, or accommodative with others is what we can say actually. So when we are in that mood, then we will definitely get Krishna's blessings. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Radha Gopinath ji ki. Any questions or any comments? Any devotees would like to? Yes, Prabhu. Most of the yajnas start by offering oblations by different names of Lord Vishnu, and this sacrifice especially is invoking the favor of Lord Vishnu by chanting different mantras which are glorifications of Lord Vishnu. Like it is said, mantratas tantratas siddham sarvadesha kalabhivastunah sarvam karoti nischidram anusankirtanam tava. So chanting the holy names of the Lord purifies everything, and it nullifies all the offenses which we made in the service of the Lord or in performance of yajna. Yes, Prabhu. important to maintain our consciousness. That's why we hear about the importance of service and how to do the service and what consciousness we have to be. So the consciousness is very important while serving the deities. So it is, the Lord reciprocates according to what kind of consciousness we maintain in the service of the Lord. So we have to, and the greatest treasure of a devotee is to protect his consciousness. So if consciousness is not proper, then everything is lost for a devotee. That's why we take so many, we are so strict with what we eat, where we eat, and how we eat, and whom we are associating with. Why are we doing all these things? Is just because we want to protect our consciousness, so that it can be offered nicely in service of the Lord. So that is most important. If consciousness is there, if some external things are not there also, Lord does not mind. But if everything external is there, and if consciousness is not there, then everything is lacking. Any other questions? Any comments, Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu. So, for us, the standard is what our Guru and Srila Prabhupada has given us. That is ecstasy for us. That is bhav for us. So whatever is told by our authority, Srila Prabhupada and our Gurus, that this is the way this service has to be done, then that is the topmost. There is nothing else which we have to look forward for. That, oh, now I have completed this, so now what else? No. Whatever is told, whatever standard is set, then we do it. Maybe like our consciousness internally may evolve by our practice, but the external standards which are set to us should not be changed. Like if somebody has a boga offering to Shri Shri Radha Gopinath ji, so they may be thinking, oh, this is, sometimes we see in our ashram, a brahmachari is running a marathon. You know why? Because he's late for the offering. He's saying, oh, I'm late for the offering, I'm late for the offering, and he's running. So sometimes externally we should go, make the plate, come here, do achaman and offer the boga. This remains same for all the devotees. But some person may be thinking that I have been given this seva, so I have to do it, and I go and do it. But the consciousness may be sometimes, oh, Gopinath ji has gone for grazing the cows and he's returning back. Maybe he's hungry in the afternoon. I have to quickly go and feed him prasad. This bhav can internally grow. And with that bhav, if we can go, I have to feed my Gopinath ji. And then go and do everything according to the standard and not creating anything is itself the greatest success of a devotee. Yeah? We can grow in consciousness but not change the standards. Hare Krishna. So if you change some standards, and if some devotee sees that we are doing in such a way, then everybody is in confusion. Arey, what happening? He is in Mahabhav stage. Then what should I do? He is going and feeding Gopinath samosa with chutney in his mouth. So what should I offer in the night? So everybody is like, yeah. So we have to be following the standards, but internal mood and bhav may develop in following that, and with what purity, what consciousness we are doing. Yeah. Yes, please. Actually, we should not be talking while we are honoring prasad. We should be hearing. So, in many of the ISKCON ashrams, we have this culture of reading Srila Prabhupada's Leela Amrita while honoring prasad. So, either you hear a lecture of Prabhupada or any, like in our ashram at Govardhaniko village, we are now reading I'll Build You a Temple by Giriraj Maharaj. And so anything connected to Prabhupada, we can read while honoring Prasad. So our consciousness is very nice when we are honoring Prasad. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. No, it is just to show how purifying Lord Vishnu's names are. And that is a standard set that in the sacrifice we have to chant Vishnu's names for purification. So whatever standards are set, we have to follow. Like in Krishna Balram temple opening, Srila Prabhupada was on his Vyasasana and Yajna was being conducted, and Srila Prabhupada says in the mic, "Stop." And then, you know why Srila Prabhupada says? One small child who is sitting in the lap of the mother has put his finger in the mouth. Srila Prabhupada said, "Take this child out, wash his hands, and train him not to put his hand in his mouth." The Prabhupada said it contaminates the entire offering. So some people I have seen, they have the habit of biting nails. Yeah. And then they touch bead bag, and then they touch offerings. So this is very important of not touching the hand to our feet, not touching hand to our mouth, and not touching hand to our hairs unnecessarily. And if we do that, then we have to do achama. So some standards are set which we have to follow very nicely and very carefully. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, how to develop the mood of giving? So one way is to start giving and experiencing the reciprocation of Krishna when we are in this consciousness of just giving. Actually, it is very evident that when we try to enjoy, it gives us happiness for some time, but not for a longer time. We just become frustrated if we are trying to enjoy and serve ourselves. But when we try to serve the senses of Krishna or the devotees, it gives us deep satisfaction in the heart. So just start. Like some devotee was telling me that he had put a self rule that he will not sit for prasad until and unless he serves prasad to the devotees for 15 minutes. So every day he would come and serve prasad for 15 minutes, however hungry he might be. He would come, 15 minutes he would do the service and then sit for prasad. And then after some time it has become so natural to him that he cannot accept prasad wherever he is without serving. So now there is no rule for him, nobody is watching him. But wherever he is, he does that because he knows how happy he is in service. So when we understand that how pleasing it is to Krishna to serve his devotees, importance of understanding Mad Bhakta Puja Bhyadika, then the whole purpose of becoming a devotee is to please Krishna. So the easiest way to please Krishna is to serve his devotees. And we do that. Is that okay, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. No, Prabhu. This is just a priest. They in in uh, in in Vedic culture, the devotees who perform the yajna are called Ritviks. Yeah. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada said Ritvik, the priest. Yeah, priest is called the Ritvik. There is a Yajamana and there is a Ritvik who does the yajna on behalf of the Brahma. Yeah, yes, yes. Yes, Prabhu. So we can be sensitive or assertive, but at the end of what we do, the consciousness of a person should be raised. Like Suruchi, she chastised Dhruva. Suniti, she spoke some nice words to Dhruva. Suniti's chastisement depressed Dhruva. You see, sometimes we may think that chastisement will work, but sometimes, most of the times in today's world, if we say something to somebody, then he is more likely to be depressed and offended than to correct his mistake. So we should see whom we are trying to give feedback or correct, and how much investment we have made in that person. So if we have invested our time, if we have invested our energy, and he is ready to accept what we are saying, then we are most welcome. But if somebody is just, he is not under us, or you cannot tell him anything. You just have to go and tell to somebody who has invested in it, and then that works. So we can be assertive. It is not that being assertive or sensitive which is correct, but what will work for us and the devotee whom we are trying to convey the message to. So that is most important. At the end, he should come close to Krishna. He should not go one step behind. That should be our goal in whatever we do. Yeah? Is that okay? Any further thing you want to say? Yeah, like we have to show them by our own example. And if we want to correct them, especially to the newcomers, we have to be very sweet. Yeah. So when in one temple, one person was telling, I would like to remain eternally a newcomer because we are treated very nicely. But when you become an inmate, then you get all the chastisement. So it should not be like that also. So it should be for everybody. We should be very sensitive to each devotee. Yeah, because Krishna is watching us, how a jiva after so many millions and millions of lifetime has come into a temple of Krishna. So such a rare commodity. So we have to handle with care. Yeah. I think we should end here. Prabhu, anything, any corrections, any comments you have to say, Prabhu? Thank you, sir. Hare Krishna. I seek blessings of all the devotees. Please pray for me that I can do some good service to Hari Guru and Vaishnavas. And please forgive me if I have spoken anything beyond my adhikar. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. Srila Prabhupada ki